Okay, we are now live streaming, so you can go to Facebook PR Sports and share it. But, well, yeah, okay. Hello, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to PR Sports, and we see people are joining us together on Facebook, so stay tuned because we are going to start this great interview with our special guest from today, Let's Deep, in about a minute. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. How you guys doing?
All right, so let's
Awesome.
get started.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, what's going on, everyone? This is Penny Rodriguez from PR Sports live here in Tijuana, Baja California to Miami. So Leo Spit is here with us. Hi, Leo. How are you?
Good, Penny. How you doing? Thanks for having me on today.
I'm really good, and this is our first time together, meeting us on Facebook, live streaming our sports page, sharing good stories on sports, and I'm pretty glad. It's been a while. I didn't use my language in English, so I guess we can continue in understanding together. So,
Yeah, man,
um,
pretty good. I'm impressed. I never would have thought you were from Mexico.
thank you. Well, this is our first time together. So, how do you feeling right now during this situation of the COVID-19? What is their update there in Miami?
Yeah, no, I'm feeling great health wise. Still enjoying my stuff, but still being cautious with the virus, as I know it's a very dangerous virus and it's spread fast. It's been hard with my pro career to stay in the gym and be in gyms and try to play in leagues. I mean, playing 5-on-5, I could count on probably a handful of times since I've played 5-on-5 since COVID. But I'm constantly trying to get my work in here in Florida, working on my game, staying in the gym, lifting, and hoping for the best for my playing career. But for my training career, training kids and stuff, that's also going really well, and that's really taken off since COVID started.
It's been it's been hard this situation for all the athletes, right? Especially with you because you used to play in overseas basketball professional, and then it's really affected you on your career. So, but you take a I guess it's a benefit for you, no? The COVID-19 benefit to you joining with your family and your friends, right?
Yes, yes, it's a huge benefit. I get to be home more, see my friends and my family. I just got a new house a few months ago, a big dog, and my girlfriend. So it's been nice to be home with them and take the year off not playing in Europe.
Awesome. Well, welcome. And here in PR Sports, we always share good stories, and mostly all athletes have been sharing stories about their careers, how they started, how they learn it, on the progress on like, experience on sports. So tell us something about you. How do you start to play this beautiful sport, basketball?
Yeah, there was a paving way because my family, I came from a basketball family, and my dad, he played college basketball at University of Worcester, and then he coached college basketball at Adrian College. And then my sister, who was 3 years older than me, played at the University of Florida. So when she was getting recruited and stuff, I would go on the visits with her and watch. And it just kind of paved the way for me to, want to do and follow in the same footsteps.
It's very amazing. So you came from a family, a basketball family, fans of basketball, or even they play it to basketball practice.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That's awesome.
Yep.
And what was your motivation on this when you're starting to play it?
I think that just my love of the game. I mean, I still, I love the game from the bottom of my heart. It's something I want to do the rest of my life. And I tell people that I feel like I never go to work, whether it's training kids, whether it's working on my game, because I really love what I do. And I felt that, I got that passion growing up in Indiana in the cold, just shooting baskets at -1 degrees, 20 degrees outside, and just trying to get shots up in the middle of the winter, trying to better my game when I was a young kid. And I remember those times, and that's what, got me to where I am today.
How was your first experience playing basketball when you was a kid?
Oh, it was great. I mean, I was a little, I was shorter, so I grew later, and I was a shorter guy, and I just, it was a good experience, and I like to dribble the ball, and I know I had a talent to dribble in the basketball and could kind of shoot it. And I mean, that's an experience that I'll never forget.
And part of this experience, you learn it, and also in your life as a student athlete, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
How your life as a student athlete?
What'd you say again?
How was your life as a student athlete?
Oh, my life as a student athlete. I mean, it was enjoyable, but it was tough at times. I mean, guys that have played overseas and have played Division I basketball or even Division II know that balancing your school and balancing your everyday job to play in college is, yeah, it's not easy to do. You got weights at 6 a.m., then you got conditioning at 7 a.m., then you go back and you have breakfast, then you go to either study table, you go to two classes, and then you're going to study table, study hall. The coaches are constantly checking your grades, and then when the season starts, you're flying, traveling to play teams every few days, and so you miss a lot of class. So you got to stay on top of that, and so it wasn't easy, but I could say it's all worth it. And it's taught me, how to teach that to the youth kids nowadays.
How many hours you start practicing and training at the gym and the court? How many
Constant.
hours you
I,
dedicated?
I, I mean, when I was younger, I would say all day long, 3, 4 hours a day. I'd constantly go to overnight camps, college overnight camps when I was in middle school, phenom camps, exposure camps, and then I'd go back and work on my game at home. So I would definitely describe myself that I was a guy that, earned my accolades because I worked really hard and I was a gym rat.
It's gonna be difficult, right? Dedicated like all days, 7 days per week, and especially 4 hours per day. 4 hours per day. That's insane for
Yeah,
sure.
it is. It is. Nowadays, at 27 years old, I'd say I don't do 4 hours a day, but I really still try to work on my game. I still perfect my craft. I'm still, trying to get better. As I know I have at least a few years left playing.
It's gonna be amazing on that. There is people which not dedicating too much hours because the school, the job, it's hard. It's hard for all dedicating to be as a professional basketball player. But for at when do you start to focusing to be a professional basketball overseas?
I think when in high school, if you get a lot of offers or a lot of recruitment from schools, you have a good chance if you finish your college career strong. And I knew that when I had a good college career, I knew that that was something I wanted to do, and to play professional basketball and see the world is something that I can't even put into words. How many countries I've seen, the experiences I've had, and that's why I keep doing what I do, and on top of loving the game because I get to see the world and just meet new people, try new foods, learn different cultures. It's amazing.
And about the people and the food, meeting new cultures, it's gonna be awesome. I guess your first experience, it was great, right? Meeting different type of people and also have communication with them, and for sure, the food, it's
Mhm.
different, right? How
Yeah.
does it feels? How does it feel to learn that type of traditions and cultures from different people, different cities, different
Yeah,
policies? I
it's
mean,
crazy. Each country has different culture, different foods, different languages, everything. Like I've played in Bosnia, and I've played in Albania, and I've played in Macedonia, and those are countries all right next to each other in Europe. But they have different types of food. They have different types of language a little bit. And it's just kind of cool to see, well, I'm only 2 hours away from this border country right here, but they all eat different foods and they're talking different language. And I think that's really, really cool. On top of being South America, playing in Mexico or playing in El Salvador, the Spanish is completely different.
yeah, yeah. About that, I seen that you've been in Mexico. I guess last year I saw some photos of you being in Mexico. Which part of Mexico you been?
I was in Mexico City, then I was in Pino Tempa, I was in Puerto Escondido, I was in Guerrero, I was all over. So I was there for probably 8 weeks, and I saw maybe 26 cities. I loved Mexico.
Love Mexico. That's what I was definitely asking you about that. Make that kind of question. For you being in Mexico, how was your experience there?
It was a great experience. I think the support from fans of basketball is something that is unbelievable, and it's just the environment and the passion they have. Watching players play, the autographs, taking pictures, sharing food. It was an experience that I couldn't describe it. And like I'd go play in the high mountains, and then I'd drive, and then I'd be playing in Mexico City, and then it's just I was all over the place, one city after another each few days, and everybody always, showed respect and always appreciated American basketball players or professional basketball players, I should say.
I guess we consider that that's one of your most favorite places that you ever visit, right?
Yeah,
Mexico.
for sure. I'm trying to go back to playing Mexico this year. I had interest. I have interest from the Chihuahua League, and I had interest from LMPB. So we'll see. We'll see if I end up, because I know the leagues are still going on out there, which is kind of nice. And there's a lot of countries that have are shut down.
Yeah, Chihuahua League is one of the most popular leagues in Mexico. It's short. The season is short, but it's high level. It's so
Hmm.
competitive, and also the LVP is one of the it's the biggest league in Mexico. It's like the we consider it's like the NBA from Mexico, but in this case, a lot of people wants to play in that side. So you're interested. You're looking for team to play in an LVP team or play continue to play in Chihuahua League, right?
Right. Yeah. I'd say the levels are a little bit different, but I'm starting to see, if it's a pro league in Mexico, even Ciba Pac, even Ciba Copa, there's talent in every one of those leagues. I mean, they may be compared, oh, this league's higher than the other, but there's talent in every one of those leagues.
For your experience as an overseas professional basketball player, which uh, which country has the most high level of basketball?
That I've seen,
Yeah,
I'd say probably China.
China, the China
Yeah,
League.
yeah, China. China's very, very competitive. I think Mexico is very, very competitive. I'm trying to think of all the countries that I've played in. Oh, Italy. Italy, I'd say those are the top three. Italy, China, and Mexico are the most competitive leagues, in the countries that I've been and played.
And tell us about the China League, about your experience on that, because there is people, even in Mexico, they always asking us about this, making that type of questions. How is the league of China? Because China is not recognized 100% here from Mexico, right?
Right.
Except in the United States. In the United States, we heard about the Euro League, the China League, the Thailand League, but never heard before in Mexico about China. So tell us your experience on China.
Yeah, China, it's very, as everyone knows, it's very overpopulated. So you're constantly running into people all the time. I mean, the fan base is really, really good. I liked it, and I enjoyed it, but it's just, I say that there's a lot of love for it and there's a lot of passion. And what makes it a good league is the Americans that come from, bounce back from the NBA and go and play in China. I think that's what makes it a good league, and the Chinese players are, very, very big players. As you can see, Yao Ming, an example of one of the tallest players to ever play the game. So the competition definitely is growing in Asia, no doubt.
Yeah, we can recognize that in China. We can recognize that in China, the most popular players, like Jeremy Lin, like Yao Ming, that type
Mhm.
of players. That's the only one who's been playing 100% and alone seasons in the NBA for sure. In Mexico, we cannot see a lot of Mexicans. We've seen like four or three Mexicans. It's like the
Right.
same as China, yeah. But in Europe, we've seen a lot of opportunities to play in NBA. And the difference play in big leagues and play as overseas. I guess overseas is awesome and great because you're travel, you're enjoying, you're meeting people, you're meeting cultures, you're starting to learn a lot of traditions and even
Yes.
learn it more, improve more your skills on basketball. I guess for you is it's one of the best experience, right?
Yeah. Oh, hands down, hands down. It gets lonely at time being away from your family and and staying in your home. But when you're out there and stuff, it's a good experience. I mean, not always having your family out there, kind of not knowing the language, but I wouldn't trade it for the world because I can go back and tell people, hey, I've been in 4 years, I've been to 24 countries. I played here, 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 and now I can tell about my experiences, and I'll have those for the rest of my life to remember. So that's what the biggest appreciative that I have of playing overseas basketball.
Tell us about your academy. What was the reason to create that academy of basketball for kids?
Would you say it one more time?
Tell us about your academy basketball.
Yeah, so I have academy in San Francisco, California area, one of the most prestigious clients I have. It's a big deal. So I train out of the Stanford University area, right over there in that area. So I have a lot of clients that I've been training for 3 to 4 years, and I've built relationships. I've hosted teams, and with COVID shutting that, with COVID and stuff, there's no AAU, there's no travel basketball, and I found ways to go out there and run camps at these kids' house that have a nice court in their back, and get everyone together and just work on their skill work for 4 to 8 hours a day, and just having these kids learn what it takes to really grind to get to those levels. And I've been running them, every few weeks. Probably had over 80 to 100 kids come through my camps since the beginning of the summer, and it's a blessing to be able to help kids.
Since when did you started to do that academy?
I started 3 years ago, around 3 years ago. So around 2017, 2016. And it's just really grown and just keeps growing. And it's I really enjoy it. I can't put it into words when I see a kid get better, and they can tell that the work that they put in with me pays off.
I can see it on your face that it is when we talk about the academy, you're smiling. So I guess you love your academy and you love the kids are participating with you. But before the COVID-19, I guess it was training in a court side, right? Or talking with them near closet. But during the situation of the COVID-19, everything changes. So you're starting to do trainings
Exactly. You have to learn to
on online,
adapt.
right?
Right. Online training, yeah. So I live in Florida, and all my business is in California. And so I had to learn to adapt. I'm like, how can I still make these kids better that are sitting in their houses all day? And so and now, even with COVID still getting better, I still do virtual training. So I'll have sometimes a group virtual training on Zoom, and they're all tapped in, and I'm demonstrating ball handling drills and teaching them ball handling drills for an hour. Or I do a one-on-one, 4 one-on-ones during the day, and I'm on their FaceTiming the kid, helping them, bring them through the workout, working on a shot, working on that. And then I go to California a couple weeks later, and I oversee everything that I taught him. And we just keep sharpening their tools.
It's not to be it's not the same. Sorry, it's not the same as being in the court, right?
No, not at all. Training in your driveway, training at a park is not the same. And you could tell, though, that the kids learn to really appreciate the game, and even me, how much I appreciate the game, knowing that I don't have a gym to go work out in. So I'm like, I got to go work out at the park in Florida at 95-degree weather, and the humidity is off the charts. That shows how much, the passion I still really have, and even the kids that I train as well.
I saw on your website that you're starting to invite people, kids in from different parts of the world to participate in your basketball academy. Also, I seen a lot of people being subscribing with you on your training camp on online. So that's really awesome, and I guess that's good experience. Even we are in a bad situation, but we still continue, right? So you are one of those coaches or basketball athletes or trainers that starts to innovate the sports, starting to innovate the way to practice, the way to train. Um, we didn't see we didn't see that type of clinics online before because if you want to go in a clinic, if you want to go to training, to practice, you need to pay and pay the flight ticket to go,
Yep.
to go to go to that city or to go to Mexico, to go to wherever you want to go to learn and improve your abilities and your skill of basketball. But
Right.
everything changes now. You can go and watching on
Online.
Zoom
Yeah.
or different platforms to start to learning. And it's a good benefit for the kids and for the
It
families
really
who wants
is.
to see their kids playing.
Yep. And parents don't have to go anywhere. They don't have to drive their kid. They don't have to travel, like you said. So they can just go outside, and I'm right there on FaceTime with them. And not necessarily I can't teach them in person, but they're still getting the same instruction, from me. And as a trainer, it makes me better because I have to learn how to break this down instead of just demonstrating the drill. And that's when you know the difference between great trainers and trainers that just put out some cones and roll a ball out and say, hey, do a bunch of crossovers with a layup.
Before, I guess it's not the same, the visual, the way to watch the kids. Hey, you're wrong on this. Hey, uh, you need to improve your handles. For example, you're going to when someone is dribbling, right?
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's not same watching in person. So, but I guess you're improve. I guess trainers and coaches improve it more or to watch it on the screen and watch those players. I guess it's not the same. It's not the same feeling, but you're innovating. Even you're innovating the way to work.
Yep, learning to adapt. That's how I would describe it. Innovating, learning to adapt, hands down.
That's awesome. And what is your philosophy as a trainer and player?
Now, my philosophy, like if you just give me kind of going, sorry, my dog is crazy. If you could get going in more detail, what do you mean philosophy as far as shooting technique, how I teach kids? Could you elaborate on that a little more for me?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Definitely, that's what I mean about that so philosophy.
Okay. Yeah. So I think my philosophy is the way I teach kids is what I use in my game. Right. And I think that kids really listen to what I have to say because what I'm teaching them, I'm using in my game. So they're not seeing hearing me say, Coach, hey, Drew, go do this crazy move. And they're like, well, Coach can't even do it. So everything that I teach these kids, I use in my game. So how I teach them how to shoot, feet straight, elbow 90 degrees, wrist cocked, high shot pocket. I'm showing them, hey, this is exactly how I shoot. If you don't believe me, go and watch my highlight tapes. So it just clicks with them. They're like, I see. Instead of just saying, okay, go do this drill and figure it out how to make this move work in the game. They can kind of see it. And my philosophy is I believe in shooting is a very important technique, and you have to have the right mechanics to be able to shoot the ball well. And there really isn't, a lot of great shooters with good mechanics anymore. So I really try to focus on that the most.
Yeah, we've seen the most important. I guess the main way, the important way is the shooting ability, shooting skills.
Yep.
Before dribbling. Well, dribbling is so basic. So dribbling, everyone can learn fast to dribble, but for shoot, uh, there is people like, for example, players like Lonzo Ball, like Zion, and other players that don't have a good shooting abilities.
Exactly.
But how can you change the way of shoot? For example,
Yeah.
if we got, for example, Alonso Ball shoots different than an ordinary basketball player. But in this case, how can you change it for a kid
Yeah,
or for a man
exactly. So that's a great
ability?
question. So right now, I'll break Lonzo Ball's shot down right now. Lonzo
Mhm,
Ball's shot pocket's too low, which means it takes him longer to get off. So when he's
mhm.
flipping the ball to go up, it's taking too long, and that control's causing him, to miss his shot. On top of that, he shoots it all the way from the left side of his body. So if he's trying to drive one dribble pull up to the right, and he's shooting the left side of his body, he can't do that, right? So now what if we said, okay, Lonzo Ball, you drive to the right and you keep your shoulders directly straight on the rim with your feet straight. If there's a defender on your left side of the shoulder, you're going to be go right up into your shot. So little things like that, kind of like if I see a kid's shot, I'd be like, hey, you're shooting two hands, right? So if you're using your off hand, where'd the ball go? And they say, oh, it went to the left side of the rim. And I'm like, why did it go to the left side of the rim? And they say, well, because I used my left hand. And I say, okay, well, now try to keep your left hand directly straight and don't use it. And then they go and do it. And I'm like, okay, so where did that go? Straight. So that's kind of how, I break kids' shot down, even through virtually and in person.
Yeah, exactly. The ball must go straight, not on the left, not on the right, straight. Just
Right. Don't turn your feet. Don't turn your body. Use your legs. Don't let your knees go past your toes. Those are things that I constantly tell players.
to have a good balance when you're between your jumping and your shooting at the same time, the jump shot. How can you start to, for example, how can you improve that? People doesn't have the same quality of to do the jump shot. Jump shot is difficult even for us in Mexico. It's difficult
Right.
to
I
do
think
the jump shot.
improving is learning to shoot the right way and then constantly just doing a bunch of reps. Once you have the right mechanics and you know it's consistent mechanics, then you get a bunch of reps in. If your mechanics start to change and you start to miss right or left, then you know, okay, I got to make an adjustment. And that's kind of how you become a great shooter. And I mean, I wouldn't be able to play professional basketball if I couldn't shoot the basketball. I couldn't shoot the ball because I'm not overly athletic. I can't dribble as good as Chris Paul. I'm not that quick, but if you leave me open, I'll knock it down every time.
Oh, I see you quick. I've been watching your videos on Facebook, and even the videos that you shared with me before, about your neat style of basketball. It's very amazing how you play. You're quick, you're faster, you got a good shot. How do you get that type of abilities? How many shots you made, and to be fast, yeah, and to be faster.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm constantly getting reps up on my shot, and I've been doing it so long that I've learned how to shoot the right way since I was young. That's one thing that all my shooting coaches and my father really touched on with me when I was young. So then when I grew to 6'5", 6'6", it stuck right with me. So really, all I had to do was reps, constant reps. 500 shots a day. Sometimes I'd shoot 600 a day, and just constantly shoot, 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 shoot. And then what I would do to help me out is I'd go and watch it on film, and I'd see what I was doing wrong, why I missed this shot. Okay, how did I miss this shot? What do I do to shoot different to not miss that shot? And then that made me a great shooter, and that made me be able to teach kids how to shoot and players how to shoot.
I can consider it that recording videos is really important because it's just not to presume, it's to show the people how good you are. It means what you need to, what you have to do, what you have to improve it on your skills and your abilities and the way you shot too. So it's not just see the good way that you're playing great.
The
It's
bad
see
way, yeah,
the wrong side that you need to
exactly.
improve and working on.
That way
Yeah.
they know not to do that, right? They know that their shot feels off.
Yeah, sure. Well, that was a great experience talking with you and making that type of interview. How are you feeling being in this program from Tijuana, Baja California, and even to Miami, Florida?
Yeah. No, thank you for having me, man. I really, really appreciate it. And I love Florida because it's a little more open right now in the States than everywhere else. California's a little shut down. And I've really enjoyed just kind of being by the water, being in the pool, hanging out with my family, and just making a lot of friends, but still staying ready for when I get that call to go play somewhere.
We hope to see you Sunday in Tijuana, Baja California, or even in San Diego visiting us soon.
Yes, for sure. I love San Diego. I'll definitely be back there soon. There's a chance that I could be playing in the Chihuahua League this season, maybe Siva Copa. So we just got to wait to see what happens with COVID.
Yeah, we had to wait for a long time. But what is your next plans for the next years after? Well, COVID-19 is going to disappear in my life in over 6 months more. But what is your new plans for your career as a basketball player, professional basketball player?
My new plans is I'm just trying to get to the best league I can and play. 27, I probably can play. Who knows how much longer I can play? It all depends on staying healthy. And I'm just trying to get into the best league possible, but also see and not have a good experience with a beautiful country. That's just kind of where I'm at financially. My goal is every year that I play to grow my financial salary each year. And as you know, sometimes there's not countries that don't play the salary that players would like, and then there's countries like Mexico that do. And so my goal is to get into a good league that pays a high salary so I can support me and my family.
We hope someday you get it, and for sure, watching you playing on the court in Mexico, Europe, whatever, but got that opportunity that you used to say to us here in this program. And obviously, we're going to remind you every day as a motivation for you.
Thank you. Really appreciate that.
Well, in this program, PR Sports Network, we always with our special guests, we always say that if you want to share a motivation phrase to the people who's watching right now.
Yep, exactly. Right. So could you repeat that? Sorry, I barely heard you on that one, Penny.
Yeah. Do you want to share a motivation phrase or motivation cue?
Yeah. The motivation phrase I would share for Mexico and all over the world is just Don't let anyone tell you you can't. And remember those ones that told you you can't. So when you're working hard, you think of them and you grind hard and you keep working. And then when you see that success with the ones that believe that you couldn't do it, then it makes it worth it.
Wow, that's a good phrase. That's a good talk
That's my
about it.
motto.
Yeah,
It's my motto.
that's your
When I
motto.
fly in private jets and I rent yachts and that, I remember, and I help a kid get to the top, or I go and I go off in a game for 40. I remember when I was younger, the ones that didn't believe in me, and that gives me fire. That gives me fuel to wake up every day and try to be as successful as possible.
That's really amazing. That's a good moment. We're always going to remind you here in our Passion PR Sports Network. Thank you for being here, little bit, and thank you for all the people who's watching this live streaming on PR Sports Network. Obviously, if you came late, you can watch it over and over again, whatever you want, on your cell phone, computer, on even you can watch it on TV right now because now Facebook has it's on TV,
Yeah,
on smart TVs for sure.
right. I know
It's funny. It's
technology is
funny.
crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy, but it's great. It's a good innovation by Facebook. Yeah. So thank you for having us, everyone. We see you next time. This is Ben Rodriguez from PR Sports. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, PR Sports, on YouTube, PR Sports, and even on here on Facebook, PR Sports. And also, you can follow Lil Spit on Instagram, right?
Yep. LJ underscore SVETE. And I'll be sharing some posts of this on my Instagram, trying to get PR Sports known so we can keep getting them interviews and keep growing.
You can watch this interview too on YouTube. So thank you so much. This is Penny Rodriguez, Lil Spit, Tijuana to Miami, Florida. That was PR Sports. Thank you,
Yep.
and we'll see
Thanks
you
so
next
much, guys.
time.
Thanks for having me. Stay
Have a
healthy.
good
Stay
day.
See ya.
Goodbye.